Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name is Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. We have new details on that double homicide in Bloomfield. New court documents say the man accused of the shooting had murder on his mind when he entered the bowling alley. On Tuesday, 25-year-old Elias Reed in jail, facing 2 counts of first-degree murder. Police say he shot and killed Curtis Strom and William Reffett on Tuesday. According to court documents, Reed told State Patrol investigators he walked into the bowling alley with a shotgun concealed in a cardboard box with a plan to kill both Strom and Reffett. Reed telling authorities that he told Reffett he was going to rob him. He said after Reffett walked to the back of the business, he shot Reffett in the head, then shot Strom. Court documents say Reed also said he figured he might as well rob the business, taking money from the register and from a wallet before leaving back to his girlfriend's parents' house. As for the girlfriend, 27-year-old Kaylin Sweezy faces a count of tampering with physical evidence. Court documents show she told authorities she went with Reed to get rid of the gun. The shootings, meanwhile, happened a day before Reed and Sweezy were set to be in court for a child custody hearing. Now, they'll both appear in a Knox County court on criminal charges in March. The border, Ukraine, Israel, all among the contentious topics on hand at Omaha area Congressman Don Bacon's latest town hall. And then, of course, there was Trump. Joe Jordan has more from West Omaha.
A moderately attended town hall, but some pointed questions. Right out of the box, why is Republican Congressman Don Bacon backing Trump over Biden?
I initially supported Tim Scott. I've liked Nikki Haley. But in the end, it looks like President Trump's going to be our nominee. I'm going to support our nominee, and I have a choice. And it's not the perfect choice, but I think the border is the number one issue. I'm going to ask who can fix the border, right? And who has shown that they can do that, and he has.
But this woman, a Democrat, not impressed, hitting Trump's character, ethics, honesty, and more.
His actions on the election, to say that they were invalid and there was nothing. They never showed up, all the investigations, that it was ever about, that we would have some, that's dangerous.
Judging by my actions, I voted to certify. I'm totally honest. If I disagree with this president or the previous president, I have. And I think most folks like it, some people don't.
Did you find his answer satisfactory to your question?
No.
Meanwhile, plenty of hard-right Republicans are bothered by what they see as Bacon's lukewarm support of Trump. Bacon's main primary opponent, Dan Fry, is all in for Trump.
I consider myself a huge fan of what Donald Trump has done for this nation, and I'm very grateful for what Donald Trump has done for this nation with his policies and programs. So if that makes me a Trumper, I'm a Trumper.
Let me make the case that you're supporting Trump in the election, because if you don't, you can't win the primary.
I've always been independent-minded on issues, but the fact of the matter is the number one issue is the border.
Do you really think you could win in the primary if you didn't support President Trump?
Yes, I'm just trying to be myself, be candid. I have my own. I believe in God, country, first over party.
That Bacon-Fry primary is less than 3 months away. In Omaha, Joe Jordan, News Channel, Nebraska.
As for Trump, he's taking part in the South Carolina primaries with more than 50 delegates at stake. Nikki Haley, Trump's opponent, is the state's former governor, and her path forward could be in question if she loses. Amy Kiley has more.
Go text, email everybody you know and let them know that it is important that they get out and vote.
It's the last day before the Republican primary in South Carolina. Candidates are making a final push to win voters. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is hoping for a home state advantage.
I look at you and I think about all that we did together. When I came in as governor,
But former President Donald Trump has a commanding lead in state polls.
She's governor, but people don't like her too much, and she's hurting the party.
Nationwide, Trump has 63 delegates to Haley's 17. Some of his supporters say she should drop out.
The one person that stands in the way of having a conversation between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is Nikki Haley.
Haley says it's too soon to give up. After all, winning takes more than 1,200 delegates. Neither candidate is close to that number.
Just because you're the underdog going against the favorite and you're down by a few points in the first quarter doesn't mean you walk off the court and give up in the game.
But if Haley can't win her own state tomorrow, it could be hard to see how she'd win the nomination. Regardless, she vows to keep going.
After South Carolina, the next day I'm headed to Michigan, and then we're going to Super Tuesday states.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Closer to home, a bill looking to change Nebraska's abortion laws met by passionate testimony on both sides at the state capitol on Thursday. The bill, introduced by Senator Merv Riepe, would allow for abortions up to 20 weeks gestation in pregnancies where two different doctors have diagnosed fatal fetal anomalies. Now, there are no specific diseases listed in the law, but it does require that death would be imminent, either in the womb or shortly after birth.
These conditions are, simply said, awful, painful, and statistically likely to result in death. Furthermore, they are highly likely to cause physical harm to the mother at a later date and risk her fertility.
Riepe was the senator who held back the proposed 6-week abortion ban last session. Elsewhere in the unicameral, the Judiciary Committee this week heard testimony on a bill that would limit young people's access to online pornography by verifying a user is at least 18 years old. The bill's by State Senator Dave Merman of Glenville. It would require porn websites to digitally verify the ages of visitors before sharing images and videos through a third-party company that would either check a photograph of a person's state ID or with facial recognition software. The bill drew hundreds of letters of support, just 11 against, although it did draw concerns from lawmakers over invasion of privacy. Another bill heard this week seeking to make Nebraska a player in the film industry. The Cast and Crew Nebraska Act was heard in the Revenue Committee this week. It's a bill that would provide production companies with refundable income tax credits of 20%, capped at $25 million annually, if they film in Nebraska. No action was taken on the bill, which received support from actors, writers, and even the Douglas County Sheriff, who said he saw it as a way to lift more out of poverty by providing them with work. Firefighters in Beatrice sent to a home in the 1100 block of Woodland Avenue late Thursday afternoon in the northwest Glenover section of the city. Chief Brian Dakey says the report was that a cooking grill had blown up, causing a fire in an attached garage.
We had multiple units out on medical calls, so we kind of had a hodgepodge response. The fire was out on arrival. They were able to hit it with the garden hose real quick, which is, a good thing. It was definitely an accidental fire. There was no propane that exploded. There were some cleaning supplies, a couple of aerosol cans went off, which is what the noise was. And there's one person at home at the time. He was not injured.
Light smoke was observed when first firefighters arrived. The damage was minimal, mainly to the garage door. The fire didn't get into the roof of the garage. Fire officials investigating the cause of the grill's malfunction, which happened just after 4:30 p.m. Pharmacies across the country say they're having trouble processing some prescriptions because of a cyber attack. United Health disclosed the attack in a regulatory filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission yesterday. The company says the cyber attack was against its Change Healthcare business. They process insurance prescriptions for tens of thousands of pharmacies nationwide. United Health said it became aware of the attack on Wednesday and expected it to last through at least Thursday. The company said it had isolated the attack and was working to restore its systems. They say law enforcement have also been notified. The world's largest automaker issuing a lot of recalls for thousands of pickup trucks and SUVs. Toyota says it's issuing a series of 3 recalls affecting around 280,000 vehicles. The first in some Toyota Tundras and Sequoias. The engine doesn't fully disengage while it's in neutral. That can cause a vehicle to creep forward inadvertently. That represents a significant safety issue, could lead to a potential accident. A second smaller recall for about 19,000 vehicles, Toyota's electric Mirai and certain 2023 and 24 Lexus LX600 models. That issue involves a software problem that hinders the rear view images for the driver. The third recall for a few thousand Toyota Camry and Camry hybrids over concerns with the head restraints on the rear fold-down seats. You can find more information on all of these recalls at Toyota's website. Well, for the second year in a row, a Hastings brewery is partnering with an area nonprofit on a special beverage. First Street Brewing partnering with the Crane Trust Nature Center to re-release their specialty beer. The brewery says Whooping Crane Ale is meant to coincide with the Whooping Crane migration season. The beer brewed in Hastings, it's a light beer with some slight spice and a hint of orange.
We're just happy to partner with this nonprofit, the Crane Trust. They're just doing such good work up there, and if you haven't had the chance to go, I would just encourage you to go.
Well, I think it is just a good opportunity for folks to maybe experience something that they've never done before, so try a beer that maybe they haven't tried before, but then also learn a little bit more about our local environment and the uniqueness of the migration that we kind of sometimes take for granted each year.
The beer is brewed once a year. It's only available for the duration of the migration season. It'll be found at First Street Brewing Company and can also be purchased at stores in Hastings, Grand Island, Lincoln, and Omaha. A percentage of those sales will go to benefit the Crane Trust. And after years of planning, a children's museum in Platte County opened its doors to local elementary schoolers and the community Thursday. Luke Stera gives us a look.
After beginning plans in 2020, the Columbus Children's Museum opened its doors to an audience they hope to see throughout the upcoming months and years. Over 100 children from the community. The 10,000 square foot building was christened on Thursday morning with a visit from local elementary students from Emerson Elementary School just down the road from the museum. Those students and other children in the community were able to be the first to test drive the new museum. Director of the museum, Alyssa Miller, says the day was filled with emotions due to the amount of work put in to get to the ribbon cutting.
It's so exciting because we've worked for months and months to get to this point where the kids can be in here and seeing everything that we've worked so hard to accomplish and build and create for them.
From an ATM teaching children how to use debit cards to a small-sized loop river in the upper loft, the museum focuses on educating kids on a wide range of topics. Lindsay was one of the first donors towards the Children's Museum, and Director of Operations Gary Stokes says it is amazing to give children an opportunity to learn about agriculture.
It is providing future generations with that ability to think about their jobs, how they're going to affect the world, feed the world, and I'm just so proud to be part of that.
While Miller says the museum goes above and beyond her expectations, the plan is to continue the growth of the museum, and they already are gearing up for the summer season.
On Monday, we just released our summer camp registrations. So summer camps are the next big thing for us, so we're excited for that too.
With an expected increase in tourism and a good reception from Children's Museum members, Miller says seeing the project come to completion made the hours spent on the project worth it.
When kids walk in and they get that big eye look and are just so excited and happy, there's no better feeling or feeling of success than when you see that happening.
Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, this is Luke Stera.
Stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.